Chapter 7 Review. When you're multiplying two monomials together, you multiply the whole numbers together. Multiply your variables together by adding the exponents. Number 2, this is a power of a power. We first have to square everything in the very first monomial. So that's 6 squared is 36. When we have a power of a power, we multiply the exponents. Now instead of keeping the parentheses, I'm going to replace it with the dot. In the second monomial, it's a power of a power. So 2 to the third power is 8, x to the 12th, y to the 9th. Now I'm going to multiply 36 times 8 288. So that's 288, and now I'm going to multiply my x's together by adding the exponents. So that's x to the 18th, y to the 13th. Number 3, that's a power of a power. I can do this one of two ways. I can ignore the 2 and just focus on cubing everything. That's 2 to the third power is 8, x to the 9th, y to the 3rd. Then I square it. So that's 64, x to the 18th, y to the 6th. Or what I could have done is keep the base, which is 2x to the cubed y, multiply the two bases, the two powers together, that's 6, and then 2 to the 6 is 64, x to the 18th, y to the 6th. Either way, you get the same answer. Number 4, power of a power, that's 8x to the 6 times, now right there you should put a negative 1 right there. So that's negative 1 in the cubed is a negative 1, x to the 9th. 8 times negative 1 is a negative 8, x to the 15th. Number 5, power of a power, negative 2 squared is a positive 4, a to the 4th, b to the 6th, c to the 2nd, times negative 3 to the 3rd, that's negative 27, a to the 3rd, b to the 3rd. And then we're going to multiply 4 times negative 27 is a negative 108, a to the 7th, b to the 9th, and c squared. Number 6, that should be a cubed. So negative 2 to the 3rd power is a negative 8, a to the 3rd, b to the 6th. Again, put a little 1 right there. That's negative 1. Now there is no power outside the parentheses, so I can just replace it with a dot, negative 1, a to the 3rd. Negative 8 times a negative 1 is a positive 8, a to the 6th, b to the 6th. Number 7, 3 to the 3rd is 27, x to the 3rd, y to the 9th, over 8 z to the 3rd. I would try to reduce, but I cannot reduce, so there is nothing else to do. Number 8, I'm going to reduce 12 over negative 3 is a negative 4. I am going to make all of my exponents positive, so I'm going to move that y to the 4th down the bottom to make it a positive. Y to the 5th is positive already, so it stays. And then, because they're both in the bottom, I'm going to multiply by adding the exponents. Number 9, I'm going to reduce negative 15 over negative 45. That reduces to a positive 1/3. Now, I am going to make all of my exponents positive. So the x to the negative 7, I am going to put it in the bottom to make it a positive 7. Y to the 8th is positive, leave it up top. Z to the negative 6, I'm going to move that in the bottom to make it a positive. X squared is positive, leave it. Y, that's a y to the 6, by the way. That is a positive exponent, leave it. Z to the negative 2, put that up top to make it a positive. One-third, leave it. Now I'm going to multiply x to the 7th and x squared. They are both in the bottom, so I'm going to multiply by adding the exponent and leave it in the bottom. Y to the 8th divided by y to the 6th. That's y to the 2nd. I'm going to subtract. and put y to the second up top because the largest exponent is up top. And z to the second divided by z to the sixth, I'm going to subtract and get z to the fourth, and I put that in the bottom because the largest exponent is in the bottom. Number 10, I'm going to go ahead and square everything first. Negative 2 squared is a positive 4, x to the second, x to the sixth, y to the second. Over 4 squared is 16, x to the eighth, y to the negative 6. Now I'm going to reduce, making all of my exponents positive. 4 over 16 reduces down to 1/4. Now the only thing I have to move is the y to the negative 6. Instead of recopying it, I'm just going to put a line through it and put it up top. Now divide x to the 6 divided by x to the eighth is x squared, and it goes in the bottom. Y to the 6th times y to the second, they are both up top, so I'm going to multiply and add, get y to the eighth. Number 11, when I am adding or subtracting polynomials, you have to drop the parentheses and rewrite. The very first parentheses, there is nothing in front, so I'm just going to recopy it. The second parentheses, there's a negative, so I have to distribute the negative. And when you distribute the negative, you change the sign of everything in that parentheses. So be very careful about that. That's where people make their mistake. Now combine like terms in descending order. 3x squared and a negative 4x squared is a negative 1x squared, or you can just say negative x squared. Negative 8x, positive 4x is a negative 4x. Positive 7 plus 9 is 16. Number 12, I am multiplying a binomial times a trinomial, so I'm going to do the distributive property, and I get x cubed plus 5x squared minus 6x. Then I'm going to multiply negative 3 times everything, negative 3x squared, negative 15x plus 18. Combine like terms in descending order. I don't have anything to combine the x cubed with. 5x squared and a negative 3x squared is 2x squared. Negative 6x and a negative 15x is a negative 21x plus 18. Okay, number 13, I am solving. This looks really messy, but let's just take one step at a time. I'm going to do the distributive property. That's 10f to the second minus 4f minus 10f to the second plus 30f minus 60 is equal to, now I've got to do the distributive property over here, that's negative 8f to the second minus 32 plus 8f to the second minus 28f. My 10f's go away. Combine negative 4f and 30 is 26f minus 60 is equal to, my f's go away again over here, and that's a negative 32f and a negative 28f is a negative 60f. Now, because that negative 60f is sitting over there all by itself, I have to bring the 26f over there. So that's negative 60 is equal to negative 86f. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 86. Negative divided by negative is a positive, and then I have to reduce. 2 goes into 60 30 times, and 2 goes into 86 43 times. So that is my answer. Number 14, when we multiply two binomials together, we do the FOIL method. FOIL stands for first, 6x squared. My outer term was an 8x. My inner term is a negative 24x. And my last is a negative 32. Combined like terms, 8x and a negative 24x is a negative 16x minus 32. Number 15, when you have a binomial squared, you can either do it one of two ways. You can rewrite it twice and do the FOIL method, or if you can remember the shortcut is square the first term, multiply the two terms together. 2x times a negative 6 is a negative 12x. And then we double it, which gets negative 24x. And then square the last term. Negative 6 squared is a positive 36. Now, if you chose to do the FOIL method, you would get the same thing. 2x times 2x is 4x squared. Your outside term is a negative 12x. Your inside is a negative 12x. And your last is a positive 36. That's where the two double terms come from. 16, we're going to multiply using the FOIL method. That's 6x squared plus 24x minus 16x minus 72. 6x squared plus 8x minus 72. And that is the end of the review.